What is up, YouTube? HPJ here. And of course, I was not going to leave you guys without at least one more deck profile for the Floowandereeze, as we are going to wrap up 2024. It's in a very long year. It's in a very year full of surprises, full of things going left and right. But I have to honestly say I did not want to leave Floowandereeze out of the picture, because of course it's going to be the last deck profile for them on my channel for the year of 2024. And they've been on the channel for a good period of time once I got everything that I needed, and then the ban list hit multiple pieces of it. But for wherever it is on the totem pole, Flu definitely made sure to let you know Winged Beast monsters and Winged Beast decks are not out of the fray, and hopefully 2024 gives us some more to play around with. So with that said and told, let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. So starting off are my triple copies of Floowandereeze and Rabina. That is then followed by triple copies of Floowandereeze in England, 2 copies of Stree with 1 copy of Toucan, 2 copies of Impin, 1 Miss Valley Apex Avian, 1 Rise of the Mega Monarch, 3 copies of Shifter, and 3 copies of Ash Blossom in Joyous Springs. That is to round out my monsters. To then go into my spells, I'm running triple copies of Floowandereeze in the Magnificent Map, 3 copies of the Advent of Adventure, 1 copy of Floowandereeze in the Unexplored Winds, 1 copy of Extra Map, that is Terraforming, 1 Swallow's Cow Ray, 3 copies of Pot of Duality, with 2 copies of Pot of Extravagance, and 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity, with 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent, and 1 copy of Triple Tactics Thrust. So that is it for my traps. Then going into my spells, and then going into my traps. 2 copies of Harpie's Feather Storm, 1 copy of Floowandereeze in the Dreaming Town, and 1 copy of Evenly Matched. For the extra, because my main deck is a total of 40 cards. Hold on 1 second, because I want to organize everything. For my extra deck, it's pretty simple. It's triple copies of my girl Harpie Conductor with 1 copy of SP Little Knight, 1 copy of Access Code, 1 copy of Tri-Brigade Shirag, the Ominous Omen, 2 copies of Lureless Assembling Nightingale, 2 copies of Assembly Blue Robin, 2 copies of Parmatrish, 1 copy of Drill Driver, 1 copy of Downit Magician, and 1 copy of Divine Arsenal of the Blazes Sky Thunder. So that rounds out all the cards there for the extra. There's a total of 15 cards in the extra deck with a main deck of 40. Now, Floowandereeze have one thing, and that's one thing about them. Just like Monarchs before them, they do not really care much about their extra deck. And funny enough, I have seen some builds talk about things in case they have to go into the extra deck. But if you're playing Flu, you should never have the need to go into your extra deck. And it's a just case scenario. But to be very honest with you, I don't really have much of a need to go into my extra deck, which is why the extra deck is as, full of cards as it is. And just for the quick notes, you have the Harpie Conductor, because she's Winged Beast. She allows you to play your Harpie's your Harpie's Feather Storm as a tactic. The 1 copy of SP Little Knight, Access Code, and even Shirag. Shirag is just because there's a card that sends cards from your extra deck to the graveyard, and Shirag would definitely be a great addition to the deck, because he can get you your Winged Beast, Beast Warrior, or Beast type monsters. So you need to just get your Winged Beast support cards there. I can play Crossout Designator as well, and these two can definitely just get the crossouts out. Or playing stuff like, Ghost Ogre, it was Winter Cherries. That one. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries as an option as well, because most people are having SP Little Knight and Access Code Talker. If not both, at least one of them in the extra deck. And then same thing with my Exceed monsters. Just a random assortment of Exceed monsters you can play around with. but let's be real, most of the time you're just spotting on things to use for your spell cards in the main deck, which is why I opted for this lineup of cards itself. Alright, now that I've gotten the extra deck out the way, I can go into the main deck where a lot of things, from what they seem, definitely have not changed, because I feel like when I play Floowandereeze, I shouldn't have too much of an issue with things that I play, but I at least have the range of things that I want in it. So starting off are basically our two searchers, Rabina and Eaglin. Eaglin searches for our level 7 and higher Wingy Beast monsters, and Rabina searches for our level 4 or lower Wingy Beast monsters, putting them into our hand once they are normal summoned, and then giving an additional normal summon of a Wingy Beast monster as well. It basically helps going from Rabina going into Eaglin, Eaglin then going into a bigger bird. And if you have the extra birds, you can play them, or you can go ahead and go into just like a little bit of your other core pieces as well. There's only different pieces when it comes to Floowandereeze, but these are basically your two searchers for the deck. Then from there, I am running my copies of Stree and Toucan. I was using 2 Toucan, 2 Stree, because I even say this at this point in time, I might want to bump back up that extra Toucan just because I want the additional way to retrieve some of my Floowandereeze cards, while also with Toucan, while Stree helps me get to a lot of cards without getting rid of cards with just a flick of the switch on its normal summon. And I like the fact that we had that little bit of engine and stuff. I can just rerun DD Crow too, so those are the options there, which I'll talk about DD Crow soon. Moving on from there is the 2 copies of Impin, just a easy body to put onto the board, the ability to search out for our Floowandereeze spells and traps and add them to our hand. Then in addition to that, it's mediocre effect of cutting the attack and defense of your opponent's monsters in half, which we're really not going to be using that. You're just basically using this monster just to help you climb up and have a big beat stick on the field. And not to mention, when it's true summoned on your field, your opponent cannot activate the effects of such summon monster control in attack position. So good luck to all their link monsters. Alright, moving from there, we got the last 2 other big birds. We have, of course, Apex Avian and Ryza. Ryza to recycle things, get rid of things that are on the board or in the grave, and send them back into the deck. While Apex Avian can just bounce itself back from the field and to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect. One thing I do love about the Apex Avian is Apex Avian's a really easy monster to summon with this, and if we're like playing Divine Wind of the Mist Valley and stuff, it would be even more straight. Remember, this deck does not such a summon. It has conditions that force it not to such a summon, so. Alright, that's it for the birds. Going on into the hand traps, you of course have D-Shifter, and I'm playing Ash Blossom Enjoy Spring. I will be playing DD Crow in this instant, but people were mad because I was playing DD Crow, and then I was like, alright, well then I guess I'll just put in Ash, since I want to make sure my opponent can't search. And then on top of that, my D-Shifters are to make sure there is no graveyard, so that my opponent can't do things against me on my turn, like a fake Veilers and stuff like that. Which I think Veiler gets over D-Shifter. I'm not sure, but I don't think it does. But at least it keeps other cards going to the graveyard, or keeping in line with the graveyard. And that is a definite yes to a lot of things as well. So, alright, so we're going to take out of those. And now I'm going to move into my spell cards. The Magnificent Map, what a magnificent map it is. It allows you to just extend your normal summons by revealing a level 1 Floowandereeze in your hand, banishing a Floowandereeze card from your deck, and then being able to play that Floowandereeze monster. Then on your opponent's turn, when they normal summon, you can normal summon as well. And it's a great way to force interaction between you and your opponent, and even force into your monsters in their setup as well. There's a lot of good interruptions. Floowandereeze, any advent of adventure, this is here to help you search out for either your map or get Floowandereeze cards by banishing a Floowandereeze, banishing a Wingy Beast from either your hand or on your field. And that works really well with the secondary effect of most of your Floowandereeze, where they can return their cells back to the hand. So that's Robina, Eaglin, Toucan, and String. Firstly, excuse me, the big ones don't have that attached to them. So then we have the unexplored winds. This is a great way just to maintain cards that are in the field, getting rid of your opponent's cards so that you contribute them off to use your cards, which is great for especially back row. We have the, of course, honorary fourth field spell, Terraforming, to help us search out for a magnificent map. Swallow's Calray, just to swap in things if you need to, or get to some monsters that you have not gotten your access to. We're then going to scoot these over to go into the pots, as Pot of Duality, Pot of Extravagance, and Pot of Prosperity. The triple pot cards are definitely here to help out with maintaining consistency, but also being able as an access to some of your tools that you would need for the deck. One of the biggest issues that the deck has is its consistency issue, and these pots definitely help with that. Whether you're excavating to get a card, whether you're banishing cards from your graveyard to either look at cards or to draw into them, the pots are really helpful. The only thing is I'm not running multiple pot of Extravagance, although I have seen builds run 2 to 3, so at least I'm in the range. But I wanted to keep things a lot even for the consistency, so I didn't want to shove in a third one just to say I had the third one. Because remember, Pot of Extravagance says it has to be activated at the start of your main phase, and for the rest of the turn, you cannot draw by effects. So that, thankfully, Pot of Duality is not a draw. So, alright, that is it for the pots. And then we move on into the rest of the cards, which are Triple Tactics Thrust and Triple Tactics Talent. These two simply are here as advents for when your opponent plays cards on you. And you can take advantage of things with Thrust. You can go get a spell or trap and add it to your hand, or I believe you can set it too if your opponent has a monster. So bam, and you can easily go get that card. Then on top of that, you have Triple Tactics Talent, which could be your How to Breed, your Confiscation, or even your Change of Heart, depending on whatever you want to, whatever you decided you needed for that turn. Most people just do the draw 2 or see what's in your opponent's hand and get rid of it. But it all comes at the price of your opponent having to at least activate a monster effect. And in this day and age, that's not too hard. Let's just be happy that neither of these are quick play spells. Alright, and then from there are my trap cards. And it's simply Featherstorm to help with negating monster effects. Floowandereeze in Dreaming Town. This is to extend summons. And then Evenly Matched, which is a very weird one because I would have honestly maybe have ran 2, 2, and 1. Like I've done before, but the evenly match is just to evenly match out things, and it's something you can do in a second. And yeah, it's just a ratio of things that definitely fits itself together. But it ultimately works out at times. You don't want to clog out with too many shots. And with how this deck itself is built, there are a lot of spells, which makes me worried in case I have to run to a spellcaster deck. But I think I should pretty much be fine if I have the control for it. Now, with that in tow, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my Floowandereeze deck profile. It's very short, but it's very short because it's to the point. And I had a lot of fun playing Floowandereeze, and I'm sure a lot of people had fun seeing me build it and change it and experience a lot of things with it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to the channel. The socials are in the description box below, and you can catch previous videos and content at the end of the video as well. Thanks everyone for watching. HJ signing out. Take care.